you. Thank you, everyone who is in our hearing room for today's Board of Public Works meeting. It's approximately 9:57 a.m. We should get started in the next 10 minutes. If there's any members of the public or anyone who wishes to offer commentary on any of our items, please fill out a speaker card located in the back of the room and indicate which item you'd like to speak on and hand it to me for the record. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who is joining via our virtual platform. Evalinda, can I ask you once again to confirm that you can hear me, and hopefully today we will be able to hear you?
Morning, everyone. TJ, can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you. It's very faint, but it's better than Wednesday. So thank you so much, Evalinda. Appreciate that. Good morning once again to everyone in attendance in the Board of Public Works hearing room. If there's anyone from the public or anyone who wishes to offer commentary on any of our items this morning, please complete a speaker card located in the back of the room on the table and hand it to me. If there's anyone joining, and also good morning to our panelists joining via the Zoom platform. If anyone is attending via the Zoom platform who wishes to offer commentary, public commentary or comments on any of our items this morning, if you'd please press *9 to raise your hand, *6 to unmute, and identify yourself for the record. I will record your name and the item you wish to speak on at this time. And we should get started in the next 3 to 5 minutes. Thank you. And good morning once again to all of our representatives and our staff in attendance in the hearing room, and to all of our panelists who are joining via the Zoom platform. I'll make one more call. If there's anyone who wishes to offer commentary or public comment on any of our items this morning, if you'd please fill out a speaker card if you're here in the room with us and submit it to me. If there is anyone joining our via our Zoom platform who wishes to offer commentary, if you'd please press *9 to raise your hand, *6 to unmute, identify yourself for the record and the items you wish to speak on. I will record that for the record. All right, thank you. We should get started momentarily.
Yeah, ready.
And we are in record mode.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting for the Board of Public Works for Friday, May 5th, 2023. TJ Knight?
Yes, good morning, President Garcia. TJ Knight, Assistant Executive Officer, taking role in establishing quorum. This morning we have President Garcia, Vice President Villegas, President Pro Tem Davis, Commissioner Corsand, and Commissioner Reyes present. We do have a quorum. We are also joined by City Attorney Representative Mr. Ted Jordan. I am Assistant Executive Officer TJ Knight. President Garcia, this morning we have no speaker cards under public comment, no Neighborhood Council commentary, and no speaker cards under any of our items.
Great, thank you very much. Given that we do not have any public comment's now officially closed. Moving on to the first item of today's business is the approval of the minutes of Wednesday, April 19, 2023. Is there a second to my motion to approve this item? Thank you, Dr. Davis. TJ Knight, there's a first by me and a second by Dr. Davis to approve the minutes of Wednesday, April 19, 2023.
Very good, and we will take a roll call vote, starting with you, Madam President.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Corsand.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
All ayes, and the item is approved.
Great, thank you very much. Welcome everybody, good morning on a nice Friday, rainy, sunny day, I guess. Mix of LA here. Well, it's good to have you all here, those that are joining us via the Zoom platform and those that are here physically. Thank you so much. Happy weekend to everyone, and let's get started with today's first item. This is a request from the Bureau of Engineering and Council District 15. Construction Services Contract Cisco Terminal Island Water Reclamation Plant Below Ground Low Pressure Gas Piping Replacement Project, CIP 8562, recommending the board to 1, authorize the city engineer to use the Cisco and issue task work orders to the contractor for an amount not to exceed $302,000 for the capital improvement project, CIP 8562, Terminal Island Water Reclamation Plant Below Ground Low Pressure Gas Piping Replacement Project. And this morning, good morning, sir, we have Mr. Shaw here. Welcome.
Good morning, Nadir Shah, Bureau of Engineering, Environmental Engineering Division. Today I am here to present the Capital Improvement Project 8562, Terminal Island Water Reclamation Plant, Below Ground Low Pressure Gas Piping Replacement Project. We are seeking the authorization to use construction services contract and issue task work orders not to exceed amount of $302,000. The background of this project is that the water reclamation plant at Terminal Island has 4 digesters. Each of these has a low pressure gas piping which is over 50 years old and towards the end of its service life. In May 2022, we had a pipe bursting incident which temporarily impacted the plant operations, and since now it's taken care of. But this project will address 250 linear feet of existing ductile pipe which is below ground, which will be abandoned, and as part of this project we will be installing a new 250 linear feet of high density polyethylene pipe and associated improvements. This pipe material is more corrosive resistance and flexibles for easy installation. The duration, it will take about 6 months of construction to complete the project. The justification for use of Cisco contract is that it will ensure timely completion and will minimize gas leak risks because of flexibility in shutdowns. Program Review Committee approved the construction budget of $302,000, including contingency, in October 2022. This project is essential for the plant's safe and efficient operations. We request the board's authorization to proceed with the construction services contract and authorize not to exceed amount of $302,000. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you so much for your report. Any questions, colleagues? Commissioner Reyes?
How do we prioritize such types of repair? Is it by age or is it by condition? And is there an overall plan of action and how those priorities are going to be undertaken?
Yeah, generally on any capital improvement project, how much bigger impact it would do on the plant operations. So like in this case, we already had an incident where the facility is past its service life, but also we are seeing the deterioration in the field as well. So if this or any other project, it's a priority issue, so we would see which is the biggest impact. If the impact is much bigger and the need is sooner, so we have emergency contract as well. Cisco is another one, and then we have a regular bid and award. But how much would be the impact on existing plant operations? That would, and of course the condition as well.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Davis?
Yes, I wanted to ask in terms of our time, the scope of time, what do we anticipate is the scope of time for the project that we'd like to see it, begin and end?
Yeah, we anticipate construction to be completed in 6 months of time. That will include reviewing contractor submittals, any lead time for the material, and then all the shutdowns. So not to impact the plant operations, the anticipated time is 6 months to complete construction.
Great. Now, in terms of the $302, does it come out of what fund? How is it funded?
That is sewer construction and maintenance fund. There is no impact on the general fund.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. I don't see any other lights on. Any other questions, comments, any objections? Seeing none, is there a motion on the table to move item number 1 forward and forthwith?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Reyes. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Vice President Villegas. TJ Knight, there's a first by Commissioner Reyes and a second by Vice President Villegas to move item number 1 forward and forthwith.
Very good. And we will take a roll call vote on item number 1, starting with you, Madam President.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Corsand.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
And all ayes, item number 1 is approved forthwith.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Appreciate your time
Thank
and have
you.
a good weekend.
You too.
Moving on to item number 2, this is a request from the Bureau of Sanitation in all council districts, task order solicitation number 141, Larry Walker Associates, Inc., various public works projects, recommending the board to 1, authorize the director of the Bureau of Sanitation or designee to award task order SN-141 to Larry Walker Associates, Inc. from the on-call consultants list. 2, approve a total budget of $5,615,500 with, including $510,500 contingency to fund services, technical and regulatory support for the coordinated integrated monitoring programs, total maximum daily loads, and safe clean water program projects. And 3, approve the term of engagement beginning with the notice to proceed date through July 22nd, 2024. And this morning, we have Mr. Ball here. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, President Garcia and board members. Thank you for your time today. My name is John Ball. I'm with Bureau of Sanitation Watershed Protection Division, and I'm an assistant manager in that group. I oversee the pollution assessment section and the TMDL support section. And together, we conduct the water quality monitoring programs that are driven by the MS4 stormwater permit. And this TAS is providing essential services for that function. And thank you. That sounds better. So yeah, as I was saying, this TAS through the on-call contract provides essential services for meeting those monitoring requirements of the MS4 permit. We also use these consultants for conducting scientific studies that really help us with compliance with the total maximum daily load requirements. These are regulatory requirements that limit the amount of pollution that can be discharged into our water bodies so that we can maintain our beneficial uses of these water bodies. And then kind of a new element is our technical support for the Safe Clean Water program. So there's a lot of new water quality improvement projects that all support our compliance with stormwater regulations, also multi-benefit projects that enhance biodiversity. They also capture rainwater that would normally just go out to the ocean. So there's a lot of technical support, just understanding the flow rates and where should these projects go, and our monitoring data and studies really drive, they gave us the information about where to put these projects, and we can also assess those projects to see if they're meeting the goals. So as we mentioned, we're seeking approval for awarding this TAS to Larry Walker and Associates. The ceiling is just over $5.6 million with a 10% contingency, and the term of engagement is through July of 2024. Let's see, the funding sources for this TAS come from three places: the Stormwater Pollution Abatement Fund, the Sewer Construction and Maintenance Fund, the Safe Clean Water Municipal Fund, and that kind of reflects the type of work that we're doing, and it really supports these three programs. Let's see, just in terms, I'd like to go in a little more detail kind of about the scope. So the watershed monitoring for the MS4 stormwater permit, the city is the lead agency for implementing the Coordinated Integrated Monitoring Programs. We call those SIMPs for short. And we've been doing that for a number of years. This TAS will go to continue those services, and we work alongside the consultant staff. Especially when it rains, we need extra people on hand. There's over 40 monitoring stations that we visit during a storm event, and this is in 4 different watersheds. So there's a lot of coordination and work, and this TAS is essential to meeting those requirements. If we fail to meet these requirements, we could be in violation of the MS4 permit. That could lead to regulatory fines, possibly lawsuits from third parties. And on top of that, we perform this monitoring on watershed groups. So there's actually 29 other agencies that rely on us to collect this information, and they actually reimburse us for a portion of the work. So the City of Los Angeles is in a really important role here, and this TAS is essential to that. So we've selected Larry Walker and Associates. They have a proven track record with us. They have over 20 years experience supporting LA San, and they've assembled a really good team for this TAS. In fact, there's 5 consulting firms that are serving as subs that are actually from the on-call contract list as well. We need this team to work together. There's also a lot of, I think there's 26 sub-consultants on this TAS as well. So we're working with a variety of people, and there's a lot of work to be done. So anyway, with that, that's kind of my presentation. Would be happy to field any questions.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ball. Good job. You really went thorough on everything, how you were able to select this consultant, to the scope. You did a really great job. At least I got a thorough presentation from you. And I see Dr. Davis with his lights on. Dr. Davis?
Yes, thank you so very much for this report. You've explained to us about the watershed monitoring and the SIMS and our leadership in providing service to that, and that 29 other agencies, I think you told us, they are depending upon our leadership in that regard. But you additionally mentioned that there was an expanded scope of responsibility. I think you said safe, clean water is the additional. Could you further elaborate what kind of capacity that gives to this TOS in terms of what is being required of the vendor to add the safe, clean water resources to make this work?
Okay, yeah. The Safe Clean Water Program funds stormwater projects, and there's two sources. There's regional funds where we compete with other agencies for those, and there's municipal funds. And so the watershed protection used to oversee that program, and now it's split into two divisions. So I'm still with the Watershed Protection Division. There's a Safe Clean Water Implementation Division that actually oversees those projects. A lot of times we still get called on for water quality support for those projects. So I can give you some examples. So there's regulations that drive the need for these projects, and so our group has some expertise in the water quality standards that need to be met or that we're attempting to meet. And those can get pretty tricky, and the consulting firms we've called on their support for that in particular. There's other things like collecting baseline data, like flow rates, for example. So if we're going to cite a project in a particular watershed or a particular area of a watershed, we need to know how much flow rate we can expect to be generated in that area. And so we'll have consultants install flow meters into storm drains or take observations during a storm event where, things look a lot different than they do when, you're just driving around on a typical sunny day in Los Angeles. So because of the nature of storm events that you can't plan when they come for, we really do need, additional staff to help with those efforts. And then I think the other thing is, I guess a way that our group really is directly involved with the Safe Clean Water Program, we can present proposals for scientific studies. There's money set aside in that program for research, and we can use this TOS to generate those study proposals, which can get pretty technical, but also have a huge benefit in terms of our understanding of pollution and where to attack it.
So the Bureau is expected to have additional manpower and support to be able to effectively manage this new task of clean water. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So that the vendor, Larry Walker, in this case, would be responsible for providing us the additional manpower that it will take for us to effectively manage the Clean Water Division. Is that correct?
It's a portion. It's kind of a unique niche that we're supporting that program for. I don't want to give the impression that it's pretty specific to water quality and technical support on projects that deal with meeting water quality regulations.
Who did this task before Larry Walker, before this particular TOS? What vendor was doing this particular work?
Are you talking about the Safe Clean Water portion of it?
I'm talking about apparently we've just added the Safe Clean Water portion, is that correct?
Yeah.
So that would mean that my question would be, who was doing the watershed monitoring SIMS portion of it prior to this particular TOS?
Yeah, the SIMPS. So we've, the first kind of major change in the stormwater permit came back in 2012, and we had several years to ramp up. So in 2015 is when we really started that program, and it was a mixture of technical support from consultants, and there was a whole suite of consultants that helped develop monitoring plans, and you've probably heard about watershed management plans. So my start in watershed protection was when that was really ramping up.
Walker was not a part of that team.
No, they were.
They were a part
Yeah,
of that team.
yeah, there
So
was.
then they've had experience in seeing the development of our work in the Sims area, correct?
Yep, that is
Okay.
correct, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. That was a great question. Any other questions, colleagues? Seeing none. Any objections? Seeing none. Is there a motion on the table to move item number 2 forward and forthwith?
So moved.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, VP Villegas. TJ Knight, there's a first by Dr. Davis and a second by Vice President Villegas to move item number 2 forward and forthwith.
Very good, and we'll take a roll call vote on item number 2, starting with you, Madam President,
Aye.
Vice President Villegas,
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis,
Aye.
Commissioner Corson,
Aye.
and Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
All ayes, and the item is approved forthwith.
Great. Thank
All
you very
right,
much,
thank
Mr.
you.
Ball. Have a
Thank you
good
very
weekend.
much. All
I
right, you too.
apologize for the audio issues. I think I've addressed them.
I think we're okay.
Yeah.
I think we're good now. Thank you for fixing that. Moving on to item number 3, this is a request from the Bureau of Street Services and Bureau of Engineering in Council District 3 for a task order solicitation number 703 to WSP USA, Inc., Connecting Canoga Park Active Transportation Project, recommending the board to, 1, authorize the city engineer to issue the task to WSP USA, Inc. for the pre-qualified on-call bridge, civil engineering, and other design and support services consultants list to provide design and support services for the Connecting Canoga Park Active Transportation Project as stated in Task Order 703 with a budget authority of $2,481,906 with 50 cents, including contingency. And this morning, we have Mr. An here. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. My name is Brian An. I'm with Bureau of Street Services. I'm a senior civil engineer. For this report, we're requesting approval to issue the task to WSP USA, Inc. from the pre-qualified on-call consultants to provide design and support services for the Bureau of Street Services Connecting Canoga Park Active Transportation Project with a budget authority of $2,480,000, $906.50, including contingency. The project is located along several corridors in the Canoga Park area of the city of Los Angeles. This project will provide safer and more direct access to disadvantaged community members to transit lines and local destinations. The focus of the proposed improvement is on Sherman Way, where a roadway reconfiguration including Class 4 bikeway will connect the Orange G Line bus stations and trail, and also on Owen Smith Avenue, where a roadway reconfiguration will be constructed with a Class 4 bikeway and pedestrian improvement to improve access. Also on Valeria Street and along Varial Avenue, where traffic calming will be instituted with speed humps, mini roundabouts, sidewalk repair and construction, and also Class 3 bike facilities. This project is the implementation of the California Transportation Commission Active Transportation Program grant to transform streets on the heart of the Canoga Park community. The total project cost is estimated at $38.6 million. The task was issued to all 30 pre-qualified on-call consulting firms on September 13, 2022. Task proposals were received on October 14, 2022 from 4 firms. Streets LA staff evaluated respective proposals and interviewed all 4 firms based upon the criteria specified in the task. WSP's proposal and interview demonstrated that they have a thorough understanding of the scope, have the qualification and experienced team members, and a good understanding of city procedures and practices, and also provide a good value to the city. The city and WSP USA negotiated their fee proposal and agreed on a base task amount of $2,256,278.70 with $225,677.80 contingency. The total budget authority they're requesting is $2,481,960.50. This project will be federal and state funded, and city will follow the U.S. Department of Transportation's requirement for DB participation. City has set the goal of 8% for this project. For this task, consultant is pledging DB participation of 16.18%. For this project, there is no impact to general fund. The project is funded by the Active Transportation Program Grant and City Prop C Local Match Fund. The LADOT will provide transportation grant fund to front the funds. This concludes my report. Please let me know if there are any questions.
Thank you, Mr. An, for your report there. I have a quick question. When is this project start and finish? I guess the project timeline?
I'm sorry, are you talking about design and construction phase?
The whole project, because I see the renderings that are already developed. Are those the renderings that are going to go into the project, right?
Correct. So this task is, we're seeking approval to start the preliminary engineering and environmental documentation phase for the project.
Okay.
So we're anticipating finishing the design in early 2025, and then start construction in summer of 2025.
Perfect.
For this task, we're asking for preliminary engineering and environmental documentation and outreach effort through WSP.
Thank you. I just want to make a comment. The intentional median between the bike lane and the cars is absolutely a very great idea. So whoever designed that, I just want to say intentionally that it's such a great idea, not only to block the bike riders with the cars, but it just made it beautiful in that essence. So I just want to say good job on the design. This is really well thought out. Thank you. Dr. Davis?
Yes. I'm sorry, I didn't hear clearly the inclusion numbers you mentioned. I thought you said 8%.
So the goal was 8%.
I see.
The consultant is pledging 16.18%.
And that would be for minority businesses or for small?
This is a federally, we're following the U.S. transportation guidelines. So it's a DBE goal, that we have to meet the DBE goal, and then we're exceeding the DBE goal of 16.18%.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Commissioner Corson?
Thank you. In the board report, part of the solicitation, it said the schedule was for board approval in November 2022. So, and that was with an NTP. So what caused the 6-month delay?
So we had have multiple projects that they're working on, and then we have some staff that was not available to complete and finalize the evaluation and selection process. It took longer than anticipated. In order for us to move forward with the design process, we issued, after we evaluated and selected the best firm, we have issued the first notice to proceed to start on outreach and the survey effort for this project back in February 22nd, less than $145,000 so that they can start forward with the outreach effort and also surveying of the project.
So the work is already started, is that? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Corson. Commissioner Reyes?
Just want to ask about application for other grants that this project may have. What are you contemplating on? Which grants? Are they mostly state or other federal grants?
So this, they work with the council office, so, they have secure active transportation grant to fund this project. So at this time, we're not looking at to have other elements to fund other grants for this project, because we have a specific requirement that we have to comply for this active transportation grant program.
So you're no longer seeking other funding from other grants?
Right,
Okay, this
not
one
for
is
this
enough.
project.
Okay, thank you. Just want to know that if there is any other, if you're seeking other grants, how it might impact the performance of this contract. Thank you.
Just to clarify, you're not seeking grants for this phase of the project or for the entire project?
So this project has been awarded already through active transportation grant, $30.8 million. So that each, there is a different phase of the grant that we have to go back to Caltrans, get approval. So this is first phase of the project, which is a PA&ED, which is project approval and environmental documentation phase. So when we complete it, we have to go back to move to the next phase. But it was my understanding that this project has been awarded for $30.8 million to fund this project.
Correct. Okay, thank you for that clarification. Any other questions, colleagues? Seeing none, is there a motion on the table to move item number 3 forward and forthwith?
So moved.
Thank you, Vice President Villegas. Is there a second? Thank you, Commissioner Reyes. TJ Knight, there's a first by VP Villegas and a second by Commissioner Reyes to move forward item number 3.
Very good, and we will take a roll call vote, starting with you, Madam President.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Corsand.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
All ayes, and item number 3 is approved forthwith.
Yes, forthwith, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Have a good weekend. Moving on to item number 4, this is a request from Bureau of Engineering and Department of Transportation in Council District 9. Street closure extension Metro Rail to Rail Active Transportation Corridor Project, recommending the board to, 1, extend the road closure and associated peak hour exemption up to an additional 27 days from April 4th, 2023 to April 30th, 2023, and authorize the city engineer to administratively approve an extension for up to 7 calendar days, starting Sunday, April 30th, 2023 at 7 a.m. and ending Saturday, May 6, 2023 at 7 p.m. if unforeseen conditions are encountered which may delay the completion of construction. And this morning, we have Mr. Tran here. Good morning, sir. Welcome.
Good morning, Commissioners, board member. My name is Curtis Tran. I'm with Bureau of Engineering Metro Transit Division. I'm here to do a staff report for the Metro Rail to Rail Active Transportation Corridor Project. On February 24th, your board approved a temporary street closure on the intersection of Paloma Avenue and Slauson for 31 calendar day to facilitating new construction of abandoned existing railroad right-of-way. Metro is converting this abandoned railroad right-of-way into a brand-new bike path and pedestrian path. Unfortunately, the approval was granted to April 3. They couldn't finish due to major rain events, as you probably are aware, during March and early April. In addition, we encountered a differing site condition, and it took us some time to resolve the condition of that unforeseen condition. While they went over, I recognize this is the fact we're coming to you because we just encountered multiple challenges, and we didn't know when it will be completed. However, trading this closure, Metro Community Outreach Team still performing in informing the stakeholder and Council District 9 about the street still being closed past the approval date. However, I am happy to report to you that they were able to finish all the construction and repay and strike the intersection on April 28 on Friday. So it's open, and we no longer request the board to approve all the way up to May to Saturday, May 2023. So that is my report. I have Metro staff in the audience too, if you have any question for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tran. Let me see my colleagues, I do have some questions. Nobody's like, nobody has. Can you explain to me, I'm seeing here that there was an extension up to 7 calendar dates from Sunday, April 30th to Saturday, May 6th. Obviously, we're in the midst of that.
Yeah, we were requesting, so by the time we have mitigate and had an idea how much more time we were going to need to finish the construction because of rain and different site condition. So by about the third week of April, we were able to determine we'll probably need the end of April to finish the work. And by that time, we prepared the motion report, and with the time it takes to get to the boys, that's why it takes a little longer than to get it here.
It seems outdated, right? Because we're in the middle of this.
Yeah, like I mentioned, I know this is after the fact, but it's just too many challenges that we were facing, and we want to make sure when we come to the board that we have everything in a row and everything. We don't want to come back another time and request additional extension. And I'm very happy to report, the team really put the effort and go beyond what they have to do to get it done as soon as possible and lessen the impact. And on Friday the 28th, they were able to complete all the paving and straight this intersection, and it was open to the public.
Okay, I mean, I know that this is, it took a while to get here,
Yes.
but, our request is that we do this before you're actually asking for the street closure. So in future matters, we just need you to come back before it actually happens. But I understand there was a change in, there was a lot of changes, and I think you just have been assigned this, right?
Yes. Yes, so I understand we should have got this done much earlier. I know that, and I have discussed this with Metro team on all the projects, and we'll do the best. And I know that we got to try better next time, and we will try to get it here before the expiration.
Thank you. I also want to echo that message to Metro, to the Metro team. I mean, we're constantly going through situations like this, but it had gotten better, so we were happy with it, and now it kind of feels like we regressed a little. So if that message goes back to the Metro team, I don't know where the Metro team is, but we want to see this beforehand, not during the week or the day of. So just caution for that. I know that there's been changes, so thank you for doing the best that you can.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions, colleagues? Seeing none, is there a motion to move item number 4 forward and forthwith?
So move.
Thank you, Vice President Villegas. Is there a second? Thank you, Commissioner Corson. TJ Knight, there's a first by VP Villegas and a second by Commissioner Corson to move item number 4 forward and forthwith.
Very good, and we will take a roll call vote, starting with you, Madam President.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis. And Commissioner Corsand.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
All ayes, and item number 4 is approved forthwith.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tran. Have a good weekend, sir.
Thank you, you too. Goodbye.
Moving on to item number 5, this is a stop notice for LA Steel Service, Inc. LA Steel Service, Inc. is transmitting a stop notice in the amount of $1,127,260.83 for steel work for Skanska Stacy Whitbeck in connection with the 6th Street Viaduct Replacement Project. And who do we have here for this item, TJ Knight?
We do not have a representative on this item. I believe this item is a communication that is
Oh.
just being received and
Receive and file? Okay, so let me read both 5 and 6 on the record to receive and file. Item number 6 is also this is a release of stop notice to Robertsons. Robertsons is transmitting a release of stop notice in the amount of $9,924.76 for work done for EBS General Engineering, Inc., an apparent subcontractor in connection with the Highway Safety Improvement Program Cycle 6. RRFB Project 3, Federal Project Number HSIPL-006. The primary contractor is Select Electric, Inc. Is there a second to my motion to approve item number 5 and 6? Thank you, Dr. Davis. TJ Knight, there's a first by me and a second by Dr. Davis to approve items 5 and 6.
Very good. We will take a roll call vote on items 5 and 6, starting with you, Madam President.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Corson.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
All ayes. Items 5 and 6 are approved.
Great, thank you very much. We've reached our voting items. We are now in oral reports, and we'll start with the status of update on major upcoming street improvement projects, item number 7 from the Bureau of Street Services. And we have Mr. Young here this morning.
Good morning,
Good morning.
Madam President, Commissioners, and Bureau Representative, Mr. Knight. My name is James Young, Superintendent with the Streets Renewal Division of Streets LA. This information is being provided to keep the public informed on the upcoming projects and to minimize the impact on the community as well as delays. For additional information or concerns, you can contact our coordinating section for the Streets Renewal Division at 213-847-3200. There are no major street projects scheduled in the Metro or Valley regions during the week of 4/30 through 5/6. However, we will provide an update on our 22-23 pavement management program during the week of May 7th through the 13th, 2023. The Valley and the Metro region will complete 17 projects for a total of 6.8 lane miles. The press releases were distributed and the notifications have been issued. Streets LA has coordinated with the council offices and to assist with the outreach to our stakeholders. We have coordinated with the Los Angeles Department of Transportation for traffic control assistance. This information is also available on our Streets LA website, streetsla.lacity.org, using the resurfacing open project icon. This concludes my report.
Thank you so much, sir. Any questions? VP Villegas?
I have none. No.
Okay, that's okay. No questions from us. Thank you so much, sir. Have a good weekend. Moving on to item number 8. This is oral report from the Office of Community Beautification update, and Mr. Paul Roch is here this morning. Good morning, sir. Welcome.
Good morning. Paul Roch, Director of the Office of Community Beautification. This morning presenting our biannual report to the Board of Public Works. Let me just start with some of the work that's being performed by our OCB contractors. First, in terms of graffiti abatement. For the current fiscal year, the first 10 months, so through the end of April, OCB graffiti abatement contractors have removed 25.4 million square feet of graffiti from 473,500 locations throughout the city of Los Angeles. This would put them on pace to have removed approximately 30.5 million square feet of graffiti by the end of the current fiscal year. Just for comparison, last fiscal year they removed 29.1 million square feet. So we're looking at about an additional 1.5 million square feet of graffiti being removed this year as opposed to last year. Our contractors continue daily abatement on the 6th Street Viaduct Bridge. As everybody knows, last summer, July, August, September, it was a very hot topic. It has settled down, but we do have crews out there on a daily basis having to remove graffiti. A couple weeks ago, we have now had to undertake the graffiti abatement on the underside of the bridge where there was some construction going on, and those construction crews had been responsible for the graffiti. They've now moved out, and so OCB contractors are doing abatement not only on the top part of the bridge, but also underneath as well. In terms of work being performed by our contractors for the Clean LA program, for the period of July through the end of April, Clean LA contractors have cleaned 25,881 locations. picking up a total of 67,991 bags of trash, weeds, and debris, along with 27,929 bulky items. All in all, totaling 680 tons of debris removed from along the public right-of-way by Clean LA crews. As you are all aware, Clean LA has had a few graduation ceremonies here by the Board of Public Works. In total, 31 Clean LA participants have graduated from the program. 5 of those graduates have now been officially hired by the Bureau of Sanitation and are regular city employees, with an additional 12 graduates currently going through the hiring process with the city. Also, since the beginning of the current fiscal year, OCB crews, not Clean LA, but Clean Streets, which is a similar public right-of-way cleanup, but they tend to do not just along the major corridors on a continuing basis, but kind of like strike force work. Those crews have collected a total of 98,751 bags of trash and picked up 65,400 illegally discarded bulky items from along the public right-of-way, totaling 1,364 tons of debris removed. The River Rangers program, which is funded by the California for All grant, has finally started our deployment. We have crews that began working in March of this year. So far, a total of 14 individuals for the program have been hired. We have 3 crews operating and doing cleanup work along the LA River, portions of the LA River. 2 of those crews are working in the West Valley area and 1 in Northeast Los Angeles. Just to highlight a few other items, so far this year, OCB has gone into court or submitted court invoices related to graffiti vandalism issues totaling $17,664. And so far this year, a total of $6,831 has been collected as a result of these efforts in restitution payments that comes back to the City of Los Angeles. We've received a total of 11 adopt-a-medium proposals that are currently going through the review process with various agencies, and our hope is to be able to bring those to board for approval fairly soon. So far this year, we've had 2 adopt-a-medium programs or projects that have come through the board and received final approval. In terms of a few special projects, OCB staff has been coordinating the upcoming 5th Annual Beautification Conference, which will be held virtually on May the 25th. At this point, we have 425 people who have RSVP'd and registered for that conference. So we're looking at a good conference. I hope you guys are all aware of it and the date, and if you're just sitting around with nothing to do, it's always a good conference, and you know, you can pop in and out as needed and stuff like that. We do have some good speakers lined up and some good topics. Public Works Week, as we all know, is coming up, and so OCB staff has been working with President Garcia, the Office of Council Member John Lee, and City Plants to coordinate a rain barrel giveaway and tree giveaway in Council District 12. That will be coming up on May the 20th, I believe is the date of that one. And OCB staff also recently participated in the Earth Day Resource Fair conducted at Hyperion. Just to highlight a few other projects we've been working with various commissioners on, OCB staff supported President Garcia with coordination, logistical support, and staffing of informational tables at the various public works career fairs that we've been conducting throughout the city. We've been working with Commissioner Reyes on coordinating and supporting AAPI month volunteer cleanup projects, which will be coming up on May the 20th. So that's going to be a busy day. Those events will take place in Little Tokyo, Chinatown, Koreatown, Filipino Town, and Thai Town, again on May the 20th. Make sure things are in place. Additionally, we've been working with Commissioner Corson on a task force looking at invoice processing and how to speed up the payment process for nonprofit community-based organizations doing work for the city of Los Angeles. So OCB staff's been quite busy, as we typically are at this time of year. So I just want to conclude by acknowledging the hardworking OCB staff. They have a lot to keep them busy and out of trouble. And thank you to all commissioners for your continued support of OCB and the various programs that we operate. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paul, for your report. It's always good to hear what's happening at the Office of Community Beautification. Just a slight noted, the conference is May 23rd.
Oh, 23rd,
Yes,
okay,
the
my bad.
Tuesday,
Yeah, thank
sorry.
you. Okay.
I thought so. The May 20, although that week, I will say, OCB is very busy. Not only are they going to kick off the community cleanup, and then we do the beautification conference, there's also many more events happening to highlight the bureaus. And on that 25th, actually, is Kids Ocean Day.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they were support. I know that Office of Community Beautification also supports the Kids Ocean Day event that's happening on the Thursday. But there's more events happening that whole week, and bureaus are putting together their highlights for that week. It's National Public Works Week, so we make we really want to recognize the work that everybody does, including your staff that does such a great work, Paul. And they are very busy right now, so thank you for that. And I see Mr. Valido back there. Hello, Mr. Valido, making sure everything's well. Any questions, colleagues?
Yes.
Dr. Davis.
Yes, thank you so very much, Paul, for the work that OCB does, as well as this report giving us an update on where we are. I was particularly concerned about the payments that Commissioner Kassan is working on. How are we progressing in terms of implementing systems that will allow us to reach our vision about the payment process there?
Right. We've had a couple internal sort of meetings with different folks in Public Works and accounting and with the mayor's office, and we've talked about things internally and reviewed our processes and how we track those kind of from beginning of end. Next week, we're going to have a meeting where we're going to meet with 4 of the nonprofit community-based organizations to get, their side in terms of what they have to do to prepare the invoices before they're submitted to the city, and talk about some various ways, or suggestions that we may have on the city side that makes it easier for us to process those and move them along quickly, and hear from them on their issues that they see from our side. So it's going to be a continuing conversation. I think at the end, we're hoping to be able to maybe take 2 or 3 different spreadsheets that different ones of us or different offices have to kind of keep track of the different processes and get those all into one large spreadsheet, so we'll be able to watch the continuation of invoices all in one spot, from when it's received to when it's signed off to when it's sent to accounting to when payment is actually made. So.
What is our vision in that policy of payment? Do we envision that we have generally, if possible, a rule of trying to process things within 30 days, or what is our vision on that?
Generally speaking, yes. That's the city policy, is that payments are made within 30 days of when the invoice is sent up to accounting.
So our goal would be to work, if we can, to get things flowing to that level of within 30 days, if at all possible.
Right, right.
I also wanted to find out in terms of the summer. The summer is coming up, and a lot of these young people here, and you always have young people working. Where are we in terms of young people working for the summer? I know I've seen many of the programs in the past. Where are we with that?
Right. So we're definitely working with our contractors, and we have set aside some funds for them who are interested in hiring summer youth.
Good.
It's obviously a win-win, both in terms of those contractors get additional bodies out there on the streets, helping them perform the duties that they're contracted to do, but it's also the ability to provide jobs to high school students, young adults who are residents of the city and maybe not able to secure other employment or something like that. And so we're hoping that by them getting these jobs and picking up the brooms and the paint rollers and cleaning up the city, that they develop that long-term sort of pride in their communities and what it takes to clean up and keep their neighborhoods clean and beautiful, as opposed to maybe picking up a spray paint can or, without thinking, throwing that trash on the street. So definitely we will be having summer youth opportunities through our contractors.
Wonderful. I look forward to the work that you continue to do in that area, and particularly for those in South LA. It's almost the end of school, and certainly we want to keep our young people busy. So thank you so much for continuing to implement that program.
Thank you. And one of the things that's always like a fun time, and we haven't been able to really do it the last couple of years, is bringing all those summer youth workers down to City Hall and letting them get recognized by the board. And so we are definitely looking at doing that again this year.
Thank you.
So.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, Dr. Davis and Paul. Any other questions, colleagues? Just to add a layer to the invoice payment for our nonprofits, I just want to celebrate the fact that Mayor Bass's budget this year added 2 accountants, something that we have been asking for the past 3 years, and we were finally able to receive that. These 2 accountants will be dedicated to the community-based organizations portfolio. Our portfolio grew the past 3 years from roughly around 12 million to almost 30 to 40 million in the past 3 years. So these 2 accountants are crucial, and they come at a very good time. So starting July, we'll be able to start recruiting and hire 2 accountants that will be dedicated to community-based organization payments.
Because it's not just the overall dollar amount, but the number of invoices that are submitted has, significantly gone up, and there's just so many more to be processed than there were a couple of years ago.
Correct. And just a reminder, Paul has probably the most contracts, but we also have SEMO, and we have Petroleum, and we have Rachel Shop, who also has now contractors, and they did not before. So it has definitely grown significantly. So we are very appreciative with this year's budget, and we look forward to having 2 accountants dedicated to our community-based organization payment procedure. So excited about that. I think there's going to be a breakthrough, hopefully. Hopefully we can recruit, actually, by the way, because I know that I've said this publicly, and I said it publicly during our budget hearing. We do have a 13.5 vacancy rate, and 18 positions is what we have open. And out of the 18 positions, 13 are in accounting. So it's definitely a industry that we need to make sure that we recruit from and attain here at our accounting department of Public Works. So thank you so much. Thank you, Paul, for your time. I don't see any other questions or comments. Giving none. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Everybody have a great weekend.
You too. Have a good weekend. To you and Mr. Valido. Thank you. All right. All right, colleague, that seems to be the end of today's agenda. Have we cleared today's desk?
Yes, we have, President.
Thank you very much. We'll have a short management meeting in the conference room. Other than that, everybody have a good weekend and enjoy today's festivities.